something that's kind of making my mind boggle a little bit is how is this all going to be measured? This is really interesting concept that perhaps we recognise that forests cause forests suck a lot of carbon out of the atmosphere, and really deforestation is a huge problem. But how do you make sure that deforestation isn't happening, and also what's the baseline? What do we say starting from today, or do we say starting from 2015, in which case presumably there's an incentive for countries to chop down as much forest as they can before 2015 in order to make a profit?
Yeah, those are indeed again two problems which you address. I'll start with the latter one first. The baseline. What is important is of course to have or the general concept was to have a business as usual option for the future, built on what's happened since 1990 or something. You look how much deforestation and forest degradation has happened since then, and then you say, okay, if we don't do anything, this will continue at the same rate. So any deviation from that rate already entitles you to credits or debits. So yes. And it is vitally important to have a baseline that does not come from fantasy, so that is realistic. So we do have to take the history into account. On the other hand, this only rewards people who have done clear cutting in the past, like Brazil, for example, but it doesn't incentivize countries like the DRC or Guyana, who have had little deforestation in the past, and so won't get much money from this mechanism, even though they've got their forests still standing. So you have to have also a way to incentivize this.
And is that something which we've seen progress on? Is this being resolved, or is this something which is still going to still to be tackled?
Well, it's been addressed as one of the last issues that really have to be resolved. There is clarity that the historical aspect has to be taken into account. That was decided at the Substa in Copenhagen. But on the details, how to do it, and this is really scientifically tricky, there has been no agreement. But it's been voiced that this is one of the 5 or 6 to-dos that there still is, along with measuring, reporting, verification, along with reaching agreement on national, subnational levels, reaching agreement on an overall target, and making a priority for conserving natural forests.
So perhaps just to finish off, and thank you so much for talking to us. It's an incredibly technical issue, and I hope we've kind of dug down into some of the issues and made them a little clearer. But just to finish off, is for the remainder of these talks in Bonn and also to Cancun, is this a political challenge? Is it a technical challenge? Is it a financial challenge, or some sort of combination of the three, as many of these things seem to be? Where's the what needs to give in order to make this work?
As I said, it's both. The technical challenge is, for example, with the definition of the baseline. By the way, the monitoring is not so much the problem. So you have FAO, for example, has a way of satellite imagery to follow that. So I think if you're willing, you can find ways to do that. But the political issue is, of course, a big one. And for example, the MRV issue, that some countries have said they don't want their changes to be measured by anybody else but themselves. And of course, this is no way to reach an agreement, because if you put money into that, you want to have the other part of the deal. You want indeed to save the forest, and you want to have some way to see that this happens. So this is one of the most critical points still to resolve in these negotiations. Okay, well, it sounds like there's still a lot to do, as with the rest of this conference, but that there is some hope for the future. So, Friedrich, thank you for joining us. It's been great to have you on, and hopefully maybe we'll talk to you again towards the end of the week or in Cancun with some positive results. I'll hand back to the studio in the UK. Thank you very much. Thank you.